Love is supposed to give life. Love is supposed to heal. But my love destroyed me. I gave everything, my time, my heart, my soul, and in the end, I lost it all. This is the story of how love became my biggest mistake. I never believed that love could destroy someone. I always thought love was like a gift, a blessing. When people told me stories of heartbreak, I smiled. I thought they were exaggerating. I thought they were weak. Because for me, love was the most beautiful thing in the world. Until I met her. She was everything I dreamed of. Her smile lit up a room. Her voice was soft, almost musical. Her eyes seemed to see through me. She made me feel alive. She made me believe I was special. The first time we talked, time disappeared. Hours felt like minutes. Minutes felt like seconds. I didn't want the night to end. I didn't want to stop hearing her laugh. She said things no one had ever said. To me, she told me I was different. That I was worth something. That I was not like the others. And I believed her. I gave her my attention. I gave her my energy. I gave her my dreams. Piece by piece, I handed her my life. And she accepted it. At first, everything was perfect. Every message made me smile. Every touch sent fire through my body. Every word felt like magic. I was addicted. To her, I wanted more time, more love, more of everything she gave me, and she gave it freely. At least that's what I thought. Slowly, she began to change. At first, it was small, a late reply, a broken promise, a cold look. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I was imagining it. But then the silence grew. The warmth faded. She became distant. She became someone else. I tried harder. I bought her gifts. I wrote her letters. I made sacrifices. I thought love was about giving. So I gave more. But the more I gave, the less she cared. The more I tried, the more she pulled away. It was like chasing a shadow. Every time I thought I caught her, she slipped through my fingers. I stopped spending time with my friends. I stopped focusing on my work. I stopped taking care of myself. She was all I could think about. She was the center of my world. And then she started asking for more money, more favors, more control. I told myself it was normal. That's what love is, right? Sacrifice, compromise. Surrender. So I gave her what she asked, even when it hurt. Even when I had nothing left. My friends warned me. They said, she is using you. They said, open your eyes. But I didn't listen. I couldn't. Because I was blind. Blind with love. One night, I stayed awake waiting for her. She said she would come. She said she wanted to see me. But she never arrived. The hours passed. The messages stopped. The calls went unanswered. And when she finally came the next morning, her smile was different. Her hair smelled of someone else's perfume. I asked her where she had been. She laughed. She said I was too jealous. She said I was crazy. I wanted to believe her. So I did. I closed my eyes to the truth. I silenced the voice in my heart. But the cracks grew bigger. The lies became obvious. She wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she never was. Still, I stayed. Because leaving her felt impossible. Because losing her felt like death. I told myself, if I love harder, she will stay. If I give more, she will change. If I wait long enough, she will love me again. But love doesn't work like that. Love doesn't grow from desperation. Love doesn't survive when it's one-sided. She started disappearing for days. She started ignoring my messages. She started treating me like a stranger, and I accepted it. Because I was addicted. Because I was afraid. Afraid of life without her. One day, she looked me in the eyes. Her voice was cold. I don't love you anymore. I felt the world collapse. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. Her words echoed in my head, again and again. I don't love you anymore. I begged. I cried. I held her hands and begged her to stay. But she pulled away. She looked at me with pity, not love, not even anger. Just pity. That was worse than hate. From that moment, I began to fall. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. I lost my focus. I lost my job, I lost my friends, I lost my smile. All because of love. But at that time, I didn't call it loss. I called it sacrifice. I told myself it was worth it. Even as my life collapsed around me, I was blind. Completely blind, and I didn't know it yet. But the worst was still to come. After she left, silence became my only companion. The bed felt too big. The nights felt endless. The walls of my room closed in on me. I kept checking my phone. Every few minutes, every hour, waiting for her message, waiting for her call. But nothing came. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. I was trapped in the same circle. Hope, disappointment, pain. I sent her long texts. She never replied. I called her late at night. She never answered. I begged her to see me. She refused, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't let go. Because I believed. She was the only reason I was alive. Without her, I felt empty. Without her, I felt like nothing. I stopped going to work. I stopped paying my bills. I stopped eating properly. I lost weight. I lost energy. I lost myself. People around me noticed. My friends came to see me. They said, "You need to move on." They said, "She doesn't deserve you." But their words bounced off me. I didn't listen. I couldn't, because in my head, love was still alive. In my heart, she was still mine. Even when she WSN single quotes T date, then came the day I saw her again. By accident. On the street. She was holding someone's hand. She was laughing. The same laugh that once belonged to me. My chest burned. My knees shook. I wanted to scream. I wanted to fight. But I just froze. I watched her walk away with him. Not with me. That night I broke completely. I smashed my phone. I threw pictures on the floor. I ripped letters into pieces. But no matter what I destroyed, I couldn't destroy the memories. They were burned into my skin. They were carved into my heart. I tried to numb the pain, with alcohol, with noise, with anything that made me forget. But forgetting was impossible, because everywhere I looked I saw her, every song, every street, every place. Everything reminded me of her. I became a ghost. I walked without direction. I lived without purpose. I was alive, but I was not living. One morning, I looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't recognize the face staring back. My eyes were empty, my body weak. I whispered, "Who are you?" And I had no answer. Love had taken everything. My joy, my future, my hope, even my identity. I thought of ending it all. I thought of closing my story forever, because what was left for me? She was gone, and with her, my reason to breathe. But then something happened. Something small, something simple, but powerful. A message, not from her, from a friend. It said, "I'm here. If you need me." Just 6 words. But those words saved me. I realized something. I had lost love, but I had not lost everything. I still had people who cared. I still had myself. Even if I was broken, I was still here. That was the first step, the smallest step, but it was enough. Day by day, I tried to rebuild. It wasn't easy, it wasn't fast. But little by little, I stood again. I started walking outside. I started eating better. I started working again. And with each step, the shadow of her faded. The pain never disappeared completely. It lived inside me, like a scar, like a reminder. But scars don't mean weakness. Scars mean survival. And then I understood the truth. Love is powerful. It can give life. But it can also destroy. It depends on how we hold it. It depends on who we give it to. I gave my love to the wrong person. I gave too much. I gave until nothing was left. That was my mistake, not love itself. But how I used it. Now, when I think of her, I don't feel hate. I don't feel anger. I feel gratitude. Because losing her taught me the most painful, most important lesson of my life. Never lose yourself for love. Never give so much that nothing remains. Love should lift you, not destroy you. I lost everything because of love. But in that loss, I found myself again. And this time, I will never let go of who I am.